All right, ladies and gentlemen, the video you're about to watch, I was trying to figure out who Larry Johnson was, and I had to look him up, and I was like, okay, I remember Larry Johnson from Penn State, uh, and then he went to the Chiefs and played. So this is the guy that's in the interview with Whitlock. All right, let's jump right into it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all so much for coming over, man. Appreciate all the love and support. Y'all should see my DMs. My messages, man. I get so much stuff sent to me. This here is on Jason Whitlock's channel. It says, did Beyonce attempt to groom NFL running back? Okay. It says his name here is Larry Johnson. Do I remember? Only Larry Johnson I remember is Grandma from the NBA. We gonna check this out. Again, it's so much stuff that's coming out. So many stories. I just hope that a lot of people are speaking the truth, man, because these accusations are mind-blowing, man. All right, we ain't gonna waste no more time. Let's jump right into it.
When Jay was going after B was a very young woman. Now, I did a Rockaware photo shoot in Colorado, and I think it was during the wintertime of 06 or 07. And Naomi Campbell was there, actress Jamie King was there, Jay was there, B was there, and he rented this house, and we were supposed to do this rap party for this photo shoot. We rented this house, and we were watching LeBron play, and after the game, it had to have been like 10 or 11 o'clock. So we getting ready to party. Mind you, it's all adults. There was a 13-year-old or a 14-year-old teenage Latin girl that was there, and I think she had to leave because she had school and she had to do homework, but she brought her mother with her. So it was no funny business going on, which I could respect that. So when 11 o'clock hit, we turned on the music, we started.
Well, he said he brought her mother. Okay.
Drinking, and then out of nowhere came these young children. I don't know where they came from. For a rap party at 11 o'clock at night, drinking, loud music, and us dancing wild. Like, I don't know where these kids came from. And then I happened to sit down because I was dancing with one of the assistants. And I sat next to this child, and the child sat next to Beyonce. So I hear B say something about, doesn't this look sexy? Or isn't this sexy? And in my mind, and mind you, I'm not awakened as I'm awakened now. So in my mind, I'm like, what did she just say? And then I didn't pay no attention to it. And then, obviously the liquor took hold of me and I had to leave. So I said bye to everybody and left. But those kids remained. I don't know if those kids were from the photo shoot themselves, but the fact that these kids came around adults during drinking hours or partying hours was already alarming to me. So when I hear something like this happens, I can't really discount it and say, oh, he could never do this. Because I'm hearing stories, I'm seeing it with my own eyes, and I've been in situations where something don't sound or look right, and it's usually.
You see how he just said there, he hearing stories? That is what I've been saying almost in every video. I keep saying, like, if you hear stories about somebody, if you hear stories, wouldn't you want to kind of distance yourself and maybe do some type of investigating before you go back around this person? You know what I mean? It's one thing if you go to an event and you don't know this person is going to be there and they show up, that's different. But knowing that it's a high possibility that the person's going to be there and you still go, like, I wouldn't want to be around these people.
Involving children.
Larry, you've just blown my mind, and so I'm going to have to ask you to, I just want to be clear on what I just heard. In 2006 or 7,
yeah,
you're in Colorado at a winter party with Jay-Z and the people with Rock Nation. And
it was the people who helped out with the photo shoot. It was a winter campaign that we shot. Mm-hmm.
And it's at some very nice mansion somewhere in Colorado.
Yeah, up in the mountains somewhere.
And Beyonce is sitting relatively close to you, and there's a child there. And,
Yes.
and this is after 11 o'clock at night. And she says, "Doesn't this look sexy?"
Mm-hmm.
Beyoncé, the singer.
I ain't gonna lie to you. Yes. Yes.
You see the shock factor? You see it? Like he's like Beyonce, like the shock factor is there. Because people can't believe that a lot of these celebrities, your favorite ones, your A-list top tier ones, can be involved in stuff like this. Because like I say, when you idolize, you don't want to believe things. Now, I ain't saying this stuff is true. I'm just saying if it were to be true, a lot of people are going to have a hard time accepting it.
And the reason why I believe you, I'm not going to put a name to this. The reason why I believe you is like they get you out there and they float little test bubbles out there to see if you bite. See, it's like going fishing. Does the did I get a nibble? Did the bobber go down? Because I've been in that situation. I'm not going to name names. There was a prominent sports.
Oh, man. You see? I said they test you. They try to test the waters, test your temperature to see if you with it or not. And if you are, you get to advance to the next door. It's levels to it. The fact that Whitlock himself is admitting to this is huge.
Media figure that I had a social gathering at my apartment in downtown LA, Apex building. Probably 20 people inside my apartment. And someone tried to engage me in a conversation about, can't you understand why older men find 14 and 15-year-old women attractive?
Yo.
And I was like, no, I really can't. And then they followed back up, and I was like, and then I just walked away, and I made a mental note like, hey, this person is on some different shit, quite frankly. and I was like, and it shocked me because I wasn't expecting this from this person, and it's always stuck with me. And you know, I would elaborate and give a few more details, but it would potentially give away the person if I gave any more details. But it was just like a test, and I can remember like, yeah, I just failed that test. And so whatever they got going on out here in LA, and they trying to figure out if they can get me in some kind of conversation about whether I was attracted to 14 and 15-year-old women, I just failed that test. So I
14-year-old girl. He said 14-year-old women. Girl, kid, child. Yo, this is I ain't never, like, I don't really watch him. I seen him back in the day when he used to be on whatever that show was. But I ain't never heard him tell this story. Whitlock, that is.
I don't think you're lying or exaggerating. I think that is real out there in Hollywood. It's part of the reason why I left Los Angeles.
Hollywood.
And Larry, to me, it's like you've watched the Godfather 2 movies, Mafia movies. And what the music industry in Hollywood is much like the Mafia. It's like the Sopranos in terms of you can't become a made man until you killed somebody in the Mafia. You gotta make your bones. You gotta, and it sounds to me in Hollywood and in the music industry, if you want to make it to the top, you must be involved in some sort of sexual deviancy before and they must know about it before they fully trust you. Do you agree with that?
I absolutely agree, because we all know how shameful it is to be messing around, no matter what the age. And they know that the majority of the people in this country or in this world do not sit by and will not let anybody So that's more of a shame thing they can control you with.
Yeah.
Now, sacrificing somebody, that's personal. Not many people can add those or connect those dots of who did what and who did this, but it happens. But when it comes to, as you said, it's more of we don't want the whole world to know what you've really been up to, so you have to do what we say do. And I think that's how they move. And like you said, I think it's like putting a worm on a hook. They see who bite. They're not going to come up to you and say, hey, you like 5-year-olds? They're not going to do that because you look at them weird, or you might just punch them in the mouth. But they'll put you in situations where if young children are around, they'll move you into it. And then they keep going to see how far you can go. And I don't want to imagine it, but I know they're going as far as they can go until they get into animals. And I know when it comes to lust, there is no backstop to that until you reach. And that's where, if we talk about the days of Noah, that's exactly it ends up. It ends up with animals.
Yo. Yeah.
The other element, and this is because I used to drink, and I used to, but at some point I came into an awareness like, oh man, if you go look at most of the mistakes I've made in my life, alcohol was involved, and it's like they get you, and this thing about LA, they get you at these parties, get some liquor in you, maybe laced with something, maybe they spike your drink, and then it's like when Beyoncé says, "Doesn't that look sexy?" Well, your inhibitions are down. Your self-control is down because they got the liquor, the drugs in you. And the next thing you know, you're doing things you wouldn't do sober, and they just happen to have a camera on it and pictures of it. And then they have you for the rest of your life.
Right.
And that's what I see. I mean, I just, not to go to, but it's just like, I look at the dude, Baby from Cash Money. I'm like, he's kissing all these dudes in the mouth, and he got this prison mentality. And I was just like, dude, all these guys, they're not in control. They accept the money, and then they promote the wickedness.
Yes.
It's very, once your scales come off your eyes, it's so easy to see. And I'm glad you connected it to the Bible, because that would be the last thing I would want to bring up. It's like, if you look at the story of Moloch and just how child sacrifice, Leviticus, just go to Leviticus, child sacrifice, it's always been a part of the devil's plan. And again, that's why the Bible will tell you there's nothing new. We keep thinking all this stuff is brand new. No, man, they've had different forms of this since the beginning of time, and we just can't see it. Don't miss a second of Fearless. Hit that like button and subscribe to keep up with our latest.
The fact that this is online is wild to me. I'm surprised it only has like 34,000 views. It was this comment right here that says, for LJ to throw a wild story out there like this involving one of the biggest stars of her generation, knowing that he could be liable for a lawsuit on grounds of slander if he were making it up, speaks volumes. Again, man, a lot of people are talking. A lot of people look more comfortable talking about this stuff, meaning that they're tired of it. And what they were talking about is, what Whitlock was talking about with Hollywood. Look, man, Hollyweird, look, this stuff goes down. A lot of people be like, man, it ain't like that in Hollywood. You know why? Because they ain't been to none of them parties. They go to a party. I'm talking about a party. I'm from LA, born and raised in the ghetto part. I would never see nothing like this that they're talking about, living in the ghetto. But once you start going, up them hills, and they be having these like wicked, wild, crazy parties and stuff like that. I told you, when you got to give up your phone, turn around and go home. I remember somebody talking about Bella, who was that? Whoa Vicky talking about that Bella Thorne party she went to, talking about they had to stab you in the finger and you had to sign your name with a little blood. Look, man, it's wicked and wild. Wicked and wild. I don't even know if I can show this video in its entirety because of some things that were said. But just go to Jason Whitlock channel and you'll see the title. Because I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to trim some stuff out. And I think stuff might get age restricted when I leave the link to the video that I was watching. But hey, I don't know who this Larry. I bet if I look Larry Johnson up, I'll be like, oh yeah, I remember him. But man, you know, they say a lot of people would keep claiming that they left the party early. Hey, he said he got up out of there though. Look, man. Whew. They try to put you in compromising situations. Ain't that the truth? Hey, comment below, man. Appreciate y'all coming over and watching. Peace out.